Now, man of God, it's just that sometimes it's good to know Jesus for yourself. The tragedy and what I've gone through within these 2 years is enough for me to have lost my faith and then giving up on anything that has to do with Christianity. I just discovered that Christianity is not God, and God is not Christianity either. My mom was a regional pastor and a senior minister in one of the popular churches we all know. She served this ministry with all her heart every single time. When my father was alive, both of them were always having issues because my mom always, in fact, at the point my father was accusing him that he was sleeping with the pastor. We the children contended against our father because we were also passionate about God so much that we couldn't afford allowing our father to tear down the work of God like that. So we fought him and he fought. It was a battle in my family because my father was not really a Christian. He was one leg in, one leg out, half church, half traditional. And thank God at the end of the whole thing, he later gave his life to Christ. But this woman sacrificed so much that during my father's burial, she had to, out of her influence. My father died barely a year and a half ago. She had to, by her influence, make sure her husband burial went, even though it didn't go the way she wanted. But when my mother died, the church did not come out. When they tried doing the church wake keep, God, I cried. Because my father's wake keep, even though my father was not a believer, and my father's wake keep was 10 times strong, better, 100 times better than what they gave to their own senior pastor. They breached everything. In fact, the burial, they refused to come. They refused to come. It was so funny. It was so funny. When I told them the truth, they got angry. They said I had to come and apologize for speaking the way I spoke. I told them, you abused me. This is my mom that died, not your mom. Will you flog a child and expect him not to cry? There's a breed that is coming up, and then the pattern that has been on will not like it. But we will humbly, we will not fight anybody, but we will silently allow truth to prevail. We will silently allow truth to prevail. It has been a tour. I had to stand in the gap for my siblings and everybody, defending the church and defending the body of Christ, so that my mom's case made a lot of people lose their faith. Reason because the church messed up. The church showed that there was no brother and there was no sister. The church showed that they were actually a barrack. They say the church is like a barrack. Soldier come, soldier go, barrack remain. The church treated my mom like, you are just wasting your time, all these years of labor. If not that we have a reward that is beyond earthly. If the church was the only reward that man had, I'm telling you, a lot of people would have suffered in our time. Because the extent to which the church and the ministers are beginning to turn it, they've turned men into slaves and left them helpless. And men will have no choice than to go back again to idol worshiping, because that is where most times. Okay, can you imagine that you meet your own covenant brother cannot relate with you well? Your own covenant brother cannot play with you, cannot joke with you. He always has to bring up that holistic attitude and antagonistic attitude. But when you go and meet your secular brother, guy, have fun now, wetin you get for house? Guy, he dey check fridge, check pot. The love, the collabo, the relationship is so awesome that sometimes you prefer to go and do business, or prefer to go and ask help from an unbeliever rather than asking help from your own brother. Reason is because your own brother will always bring up man of God. I am a man of God. Don't you know who I am? We are in levels, we are in hierarchies. You should respect my grace. I've been more into ministry. 3 years ago, 5 to 6 years ago, when I was ministering in a church, the church threw me away. Why? Because I was suffering for almost 5 years, hernia for surgery. I was afraid I was going to die. They kept praying, and then I was believing prayer, but the thing kept hitting me. These people threw me away from church. Why? Saying that I didn't have faith. They threw me away from the church that I did not have faith. I asked myself, even if I did not have faith, throwing me away from the church, was it the best way? Have I given up on my God? And even if I had given up, was that the best way to have brought me back to the faith? If not that in all of those things, all I ever thought to do was to know Jesus for myself, it would have become a whole different story today. So with all these experiences, I can tell you, something is really wrong. And I'm asking God for mercy to help us correct these things so that our loss can return. And then the one we have can be sustained.